beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. I am super excited about today's video because I am going to be showcasing my very first digital paper collection. Oh, I'm super excited. I'm really proud of it. I think it turned out great. It's kind of like boho inspired, a lot of flowers, feathers, arrows, stuff like that. Very pastel-esque, kind of like soft colors mostly, really feminine, really pretty. It is in my Etsy shop now. It's 32 pages, and I have it in both a 12 by 12 version and an 8.5 by 11 version. So just so if you have if you're unable to print on 12 by 12 for some reason, then there is an 8.5 by 11 version, which they're slightly different. I'll kind of show you both and show you the differences. So when I get mine printed at 12 by 12, it's actually on a sheet that is 12 by 18, and then I have to cut off the borders. So I don't know how the printers in your area would do it, but that's how I get mine done. Okay, so let's just get into it, and I'm going to show you all of the papers. So this is kind of like what I would say is the signature paper, the paper that you might want to use on the cover or whatever. That's also why I did an 8.5 by 11, so I made it smaller so it would actually fit on a cover of an album. So this is the signature page. I'll just get a close-up of some of the flowers and stuff and feathers, and it's a very kind of, it's where I'm at right now, trying to like telling myself to believe in myself all the time. You can do it. So that is the first one. And then I've got a kind of like I was really into the mirror images of things, so create a piece and then mirror image it a couple times. So it's like a kind of a repeating pattern, but mirror imaged. And then of course just some solids as well in there. So this is like the same kind of turquoise or teal. I hope it's picking it up, with just a really light lace overlay. And then this one's got a few layers, some damask and some writing in there, as well as the flowers. And happiness is found within. So true. So that's that one. And then this one can either go on the side of a project, or it can be turned this way, just almost like, kind of wanted it to look almost like angel wings but with feathers. Another mirror image. I really like this one. This one, it can go either way, or you could just use these as and cut them apart. You can use them as cut aparts if you'd prefer, but it would also look cool as a gatefold if it was cut right down the center, and then you'd have mirror images for like a gatefold. This one says never give up on your dreams. Just a really subtle, and I did a bunch of my own backgrounds for these, and then just kind of layered them and you know, different effects on them. So most of the backgrounds are my own backgrounds, or I just created my own specific colors and used those. This one says just breathe. I have to tell myself that a lot. Nothing's ever as bad as it seems. Some really nice corner detail up there. And then this one has kind of like a like almost like a concrete wall, like a plaster kind of effect to it. So I wanted there to be some open spaces that you could, you know, use as well, because you always want room for photos without having to cover up the images. So each color scheme has a lace overlay at least once. So we've got the kind of turquoise to start, and then kind of this like lavender purple, And then we go into a little bit of a, I guess this is still kind of the lavender purple range. He's so pretty. And here's another lace overlay there. And then a dreamcatcher. I breathe in confidence and breathe out fear. Yes. And I also have a video. I did a couple dreamcatchers out of wire. And then I'm going to use those as embellishments in an album, a project that I'm going to make with this collection very soon. Now we kind of move into a little bit more of like a bluey kind of purple, like almost like a cloudy blue. And a simple damask with a couple different grunge kind of layers on there as well. And then here, this is another one of my own alcohol ink backgrounds that I just did some extra work on, and I really wanted a faint transparency of this image, and then with some kind of borders. And here's a repeating pattern of some feathers and dream catchers. And another dream catcher, it just says dream. This could also be a good cover. And now we move into some like bolder blues. So this is another one of my backgrounds that I made. There is a video, I'll link the video at the end, that shows where I'm making all these alcohol ink backgrounds that I use. And then the more you put layers on, you can stretch them out, and there's so many things you can do with them once you have them created. So it's a great kind of border. And then this one is a little bit more open, so you can kind of either cut the feathers for borders or just, you know, use bits and pieces of it. And this has that same, pattern, but I just made it a lot larger and lighter in this one, so they kind of all go together. And then another, it's been that same background each time, but I've just either made it more or less transparent or used different parts of it throughout this whole blue part. And then the blue lace overlay. And then into some pale pinks. So a border, I tried to do like a border for each color and a lace overlay for each color, and tried to kind of, and then one that was just on one side. So I try to kind of make them so that you kind of do the same styles of pages if you wanted to. This one's got a lace overlay. It's hard to see, it's very, very subtle. This is kind of the repeating pattern, really, really soft. And here's another lace overlay. And then I did another one of those where it's really quite transparent in the center, and then borders on the top and the bottom. And then there's two cut apart pages. So this is the first one. And that same Believe in Yourself, that was the big 12 by 12. I also made it as an 8 by 8 there. And the cool thing about the 12 by 12, speaking of 8 by 8, is that because it's a 12 by 12 file, you can change it at the printers. You can change it to an 8 by 8 or a 10 by 10. As long as it's a square, you can change all of these to be smaller. So this one, I've got a few cut apart flowers there, as well as some other different sized cut aparts. This one says you are stronger than you think you are. So in the different color schemes. And then I also did a borders page. So you can cut all these border strips apart. I actually printed 2 of just this one for myself, so that I could kind of do the same border on both sides of a page. So there's a lot of really cool borders, like there's borders to match every paper scheme in the collection. Okay, now I'll just quickly go over the 8.5 by 11 to just show you some of the differences. So a lot of them are kind of stretched out a little bit more, so a little bit might be cut off the sides from the 12 by 12, but you're getting kind of more of an elongated look. And just some of the flowers and such are a little bit smaller, obviously. The main differences, you'll see subtle differences, like this one for instance just has the, instead of having the graphics on all 4 corners, it's just on the one side. I mean, most of them are pretty much the same, just a little bit different, you know, orientation. The main differences come in the cut aparts. But it is cool to have the subtle differences among the 2 different kinds. I'm just going through this one quite fast because the main differences are on the cut aparts. But I mean, size is the main difference for all of these. I just think it's so pretty though. I'm really, really happy with it. Very, very pleased with the way it all turned out. So here is the borders page. So on this borders, you can see that there's a couple extra. There's an extra one up here, and then there's an extra one down here. So I've given you a couple extra borders on the 8.5 by 11. Okay, and then in the cut aparts page, so on the 8.5 by 11 cut aparts, obviously they're smaller, but then I've also given some feather bits that you can cut out and use as like swing tabs or something of that nature, or just for decoration. And then on the other cut aparts page, you're still getting the, come here, you're still getting the flowers, but you also get some extras at the bottom that you can cut apart and use, or you can just cut this whole thing off and use it as you know, a border or part of the bottom of a page or something like that. All right, so that is my first paper collection. So 32 pieces in all. In my Etsy shop, there is, so when you purchase it, there are 2 files. So one is for the 12 by 12 and one is for the 8.5 by 11, and you get both of them in the one price. And I will be creating an album out of these papers, so watch for that in the next week or so. That will be coming out, and it'll be a free tutorial on my YouTube channel. Anything else I need to say? I don't think so, but I really hope that you love it. I'm quite pleased, and I have realized that I am now addicted to creating these. So there is going to be quite a few future Lunar Sun Creations paper collections, because I'm incredibly into this and I really love doing it. So I think it turned out awesome, and you guys are amazing, and check it out in my Etsy shop. I'm gonna stop talking now. Love you all. Have a fantastic day. Thanks for watching. Bye.